Bangladesh stands at a pivotal juncture in its economic journey. For decades, the nation has built its reputation as a global textile powerhouse, rising to become the world's second-largest exporter of garments, just behind China and ahead of Vietnam. Yet, as the world's manufacturing landscape continues to shift, Bangladesh faces both new challenges and unprecedented opportunities. To sustain its growth and climb higher in the global value chain, Bangladesh can look to the experiences of Vietnam and China, two countries that have not only excelled in textiles, but have also diversified and upgraded their manufacturing sectors. By understanding the strategies that propelled these nations forward, Bangladesh can chart its own path toward becoming Asia's next manufacturing success story. The first lesson comes from the transformative power of economic reforms. In 1986, Vietnam launched its Doi Moi reforms, moving away from a rigidly controlled, centrally planned economy to embrace market-oriented policies. This shift opened the doors to private enterprise, foreign investment, and an export-led growth model. China's earlier reforms under Deng Xiaoping followed a similar blueprint, unleashing the dynamism of its private sector and integrating the country into the global economy. Bangladesh, too, has made significant progress in liberalizing its economy, but further reforms, especially in regulatory simplification, land acquisition, and labor laws, could unlock new waves of investment and entrepreneurship. By fostering a more business-friendly environment, Bangladesh can attract not only garment manufacturers, but also firms in electronics, automotive components, and other high-value sectors. Labor remains Bangladesh's core competitive advantage. With a large, youthful, and relatively low-cost workforce, the country has become a magnet for labor-intensive industries. This mirrors the early trajectories of both China and Vietnam, where millions of workers powered factories producing garments, footwear, and consumer electronics for the world. However, as wages rise in China and, increasingly, in Vietnam, Bangladesh must focus on maintaining this edge while also investing in workforce development. Upskilling workers, expanding vocational training, and improving workplace safety will ensure that Bangladesh's labor force remains attractive to global investors and can take on more complex manufacturing roles. Geography has played a crucial role in the rise of both China and Vietnam. Vietnam's proximity to China, Japan, and South Korea, combined with its location along major shipping routes, made it an ideal hub for global exports and a natural beneficiary of the China Plus One supply chain strategy. While Bangladesh is not as close to East Asian manufacturing centers, it enjoys strategic access to the Indian Ocean, connecting it to key markets in Europe, the Middle East, and Africa. By investing in port infrastructure, logistics, and connectivity, Bangladesh can position itself as a regional export hub, reducing shipment times and costs for international buyers. Foreign direct investment, FDI, has been a game-changer for Vietnam. The country's open-door policies, combined with a network of industrial zones and special economic areas, have attracted global giants like Samsung, Intel, and Foxconn. These firms not only bring capital, but also transfer technology, management expertise, and access to global supply chains. Bangladesh can replicate this success by streamlining investment procedures, offering targeted incentives, and developing world-class industrial parks tailored to the needs of foreign manufacturers. Ensuring a smooth and transparent process for setting up businesses will encourage more multinational corporations to establish a presence in Bangladesh. Trade agreements have been another critical lever for Vietnam. By joining the World Trade Organization in 2007 and signing a series of free trade agreements with partners across Asia, Europe, and the Americas, Vietnam has gained preferential access to some of the world's largest consumer markets. These agreements have lowered tariffs, boosted exports, and increased the competitiveness of Vietnamese products. Bangladesh, while enjoying duty-free access to the European Union under the Everything But Arms (EBA) initiative, must prepare for the eventual graduation from least developed country (LDC) status. Proactively negotiating new trade deals, joining regional blocs, and diversifying export markets will be essential to sustaining growth in the post-LDC era. Stability, both political and economic, has underpinned the success of China and Vietnam. While each country's political system is unique, both have provided a predictable environment for investors, maintained macroeconomic stability, and kept inflation in check. Bangladesh's track record of steady growth and prudent fiscal management is commendable, but continued efforts to strengthen institutions, uphold the rule of law, and ensure policy consistency will reinforce investor confidence. Infrastructure development is another area where Bangladesh can draw inspiration. Vietnam's heavy investments in ports, highways, and industrial zones have reduced bottlenecks and improved the ease of doing business. China's vast network of roads, railways, and logistics hubs has set the global standard. For Bangladesh, upgrading transport infrastructure, streamlining customs procedures, and ensuring reliable energy supplies will be vital to attracting diversified manufacturing and moving up the value chain. Special attention should be paid to developing export processing zones and clusters that cater to high-tech industries and value-added production. The global supply chain realignment triggered by the U.S.-China trade war has created new opportunities for emerging manufacturing hubs. Many multinational companies, seeking to diversify their production bases and reduce exposure to tariffs, have shifted operations from China to Vietnam and other Southeast Asian countries. Bangladesh can position itself as a China Plus One destination by highlighting its cost advantages, improving ease of doing business, and marketing its readiness to absorb relocated industries. Targeted outreach to companies in electronics, automotive components, and consumer goods can help Bangladesh capture a larger share of this investment wave. Bangladesh's textile and garment sector remains its crown jewel, employing millions and generating the bulk of export earnings. However, to replicate the broader manufacturing success of Vietnam and China, Bangladesh must focus on diversification and value addition. Encouraging investment in electronics assembly, light engineering, plastics, and agro-processing will reduce dependence on a single industry and create new jobs. Promoting research and development, fostering innovation, and supporting small and medium-sized enterprises will drive competitiveness and resilience. Sustainability is becoming an increasingly important consideration for global buyers. Vietnam has made strides in improving environmental standards, while China has invested heavily in green technologies and renewable energy. Bangladesh, too, must prioritize sustainable manufacturing practices, reduce water and energy consumption, and ensure compliance with international labor and environmental standards. This will not only enhance its reputation, but also open doors to premium markets and long-term partnerships. Ultimately, the journey from a textile powerhouse to a diversified manufacturing leader requires vision, commitment, and coordinated action. By learning from the experiences of Vietnam and China, embracing reforms, investing in people and infrastructure, attracting foreign investment, and integrating into global supply chains, Bangladesh can write its own success story. The foundation is already strong: a vibrant private sector, a hardworking population, and a proven track record in export-led growth. With the right policies and strategic focus, Bangladesh has the potential to become Asia's next manufacturing powerhouse, creating prosperity for millions and shaping the future of global industry.